A very good afternoon to all the students. Let's get quickly started with part number 9 for HTML5 and CSS3 for beginners. And now you're not beginners, you are getting mature, right? So let's go and see the recap of what we have achieved so far, the box layout, right? So let me go and show you. And this is what we completed yesterday, and it was supposed to be the box layout. And there are many things that we achieved. One of the things is that if you see this side news, right? So the side news is floating towards the left, but actually it is floating towards right. Right, so how is it possible? Right, we made it possible by giving section content float left. If I just take it away, and then you will see that it is right. So now because everything is in the section right here, you see this, I'll just highlight it. Okay, this is the section right here. So if I just close it down, now you can see that everything in here, or all the content, is inside this article, right? Except from this sidebar, which is aside side nails, right? And menu bar is already there, right? And we have header. So now the main content is inside this section, which is content, right? So now what we do, we say this content div has to flow towards left. Hey content, please flow towards left. Now the moment content floats towards left, right, and it's going to take the area, right? So the area is 780 pixels, so it has taken 780 pixels, and the total area is inside the wrapper, because everything is wrapping up in the wrapper, which is 1200 pixels. So now we have reduced, right? So 1200 minus 780, and now we are giving margin top, bottom, right and left 30 pixels. So it is going to be plus 60. If you take it like this, so it's going to be plus 60 pixels, right? So that is 800 and let's say about 10, 810, 20, 30, 840 pixels total, right? So now the remaining space will be taken by this sidebar, right? And whatever is in here, I'll tell you why do I say that flow towards left, right? So because it has to flow towards left, because it has to take the remaining content. Now once I say you float left, you also float left, right? Because now you are going to take the remaining content, right? So both are there in line, right? And what both are floating towards left side. So now, and the second thing that I want to tell you is that article. Now you can see that the first news is inside this article div, the second is inside this article div, right? So this is where we multiply it, or or we can say do it more than one times, that assign articles. We can have as many articles as we want. So at this moment in time, we're having 2 articles assigned here, right? So now the article, I can say like this: article comprises of one header, one h1 tag, one h2 tag, right, and one p. So this is what article comprises of. And the header tag itself of the article comprises of 2 headers which are inside h group tag, right? So let me do something like this now, just to make it more presentable. Okay, let me try this now. Side new, and now we have article and article footer. So let's say article, I'll directly target article, or I will target the article which is inside this section content, right? So I can target this. I'll say hash section content dash article. I'm targeting this article section right here. What I do, let me give it a background for you. So I'll say background, just to make sure that you'll see how things are aligned and every single thing. So let me give first background. When I see the background, yeah, background is given, and let me give padding of 20 pixels, right? So now padding is inside, right? So that's the difference between margin and padding. Margin is outside and padding is inside. Now you can see that it has taken the margin also, it has taken the padding, sorry, not the margin. And now what I can do is let's give it border 1 pixels solid hash, and now I'll just go a bit darker. Border has to be, you can see, slightly darker than one it is. Now it's overlapping. Both the articles are overlapping to each other, right? So now what we can do, I'll say padding margin bottom. So I'll give margin bottom 15 pixels, right? It's applied to both now. You can see now it doesn't matter how many articles you have. Now you can box them. One article, second article, if I go for third article, I don't have to style the third article here, right? So it's going to take automatically. And you can see that this is not even, this footer of article is not exactly where it should be, right? So I can say line height first of all to 30 pixels. Let me increase the line height so that it gets, okay, line height is also increased. Maybe 30 pixels is too much. I'll keep it 20 pixels. Okay, so now the line height is also increased, right? And I will target the footer, right? And I'll go and I'll say section content, which is this content has article, right? And it also has a footer right here. So I'll target footer directly. So I'll say there is a footer in article, footer. You mind if you do something like this to my footer, right? Text dash align to center. So first I'll do text align center, right? So this is the, now you can see text align center, or I can say text align right, so that it comes towards the right side. Now you can easily see, or we can say margin 20 pixels. So it is going to take top, right, left and bottom. Now you can see this is how your article may look like. So maybe 20 pixels is too much, so I'll go with 10 pixels margin, right? So now you can see this is the box layout. It's not the flexible box layout. And now if in case I have another article, so I don't have to style that article, isn't it? I'll go with the article. I'll copy, for example, article and go with another article. So the article takes space automatically. Now you can have as many articles as you want, right? And you can have the new section increasing as well. For example, new section is here. So this is my news. So it can have, for example, I give BR, right? So this is how your box layout should look like, right? So this is, now you can have the new section increasing, you can have this increasing, right? So this is called as box layout. So now this is not the flexible box layout. We are going to learn many layouts, right? And let's quickly jump in and make a box layout. So I'll just delete it, right? I'll keep it as it is. All right, so this is again article. Okay, we have two articles right here, and we have this news bar, which is the aside, right? All right, so let me quickly go and delete all the CSS, and after deleting all the CSS, your site may look like this old school website. When HTTP and www started, right? So this is what you had, right? Old school websites like this. All right, so now the first thing that I am going to do is I will just go ahead, because I want a flexible design, and I know that everything which has to be flexible is inside this section, right? So which is this section right here. All right, so this is the section, so I'll just close it down. Right, so this is the section right here. So what will I do? I will go with the div here. It's called this div id flexible div, right? And I will close it just here. Okay, and now I'll take aside also, maybe. I should not take aside. Okay, so this is going to be my flexible, because I started in the beginning, at the beginning of my, okay, let us even take this in flexible. Okay, all right, so now you start a div in the beginning of or ahead of the section view, right? Section which has contents and every single thing in articles, right? And keep aside also, and keep only footer separate the footer and keep everything inside this flexibility, starting from the section till aside, right? Okay, now we have this div right now. Now even if I look, so it's not going to create any problems, or we are not going to get a different layout here, so we will not get it, right? So now let's start doing. The first thing is first, as I said, right? So I do it again so that you get familiar with this, right? So first thing that we do is that we don't require any margin and any padding of the website. So that's the first thing that we have to do, right? I don't require any margin and padding of my website, so I'll say now padding and margin is removed, right? And I want font family to be Arial. All right, I want my font family, or I'll go into the body section. I'll do it in the body. So whatever comes in the body section, right, will get font. By default I'll go with Arial, so my font is going to be Arial, and my font size is going to be 14 pixels by default. Now I refresh it. Now it's done. Alright, so it's already done. You already know this. And what I say that H1 and H2 tags are meant to be targeted again. We're targeting H2 and H1 tag, right? And because now it's a flexible box model, I repeat, it's not a box model. Now we'll be creating a flexible box model, right? Okay, now we have H1 tag, right? So I will say font. I'll apply all three properties at the same time. So I'll say font has to be bold, right? And it has to be 20 pixels, right? Or we can say it like this: font size is going to be 20 pixels and font weight is going to be bold, and I'll copy the same to all. Alright, so I'll say font size has to be 14 pixels and font weight has to be bold. Now you can clearly see this H1 and this is H2, this is H1, H2, H2, and everything else is coming because we want a box layout. Alright, so for that, as I said in the previous class, I want my header, I want my footer, I want my section, aside, nav, article, and H group. Alright, I want all of them not to display as an inline material but to display as a block item. Alright, so I will just make them display block. Alright, so now then they are displaying like block. Alright, and now the process starts. Now what am I telling? That body, you go and take 100% width. This is new. Width of the body has to be 100%. Background of the body, I'll again give some lighter background, right? I'll just go some lighter background, right? F5, 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 right? So let me see this. Yeah, now the background has been applied and the width of the body is 100%. I don't want any space to, because I'm creating a flexible model. All right, and now we used recently we used this in the previous lecture. We used text align center. So today we'll not be using text align center for the box layout, right? So we will be using a WebKit, which is dash WebKit dash box pack. So dash box dash pack. Right, so I'll be using the box pack as center. Hey, I am going to use this, telling the browser there, right? Because majority of the browsers now are WebKit browsers, like Safari is a WebKit browser and Google Chrome is a WebKit browser, and this gives us more cross-browser compatibilities, like using Opera and using Mozilla Firefox, which is again a WebKit browser. So it's going to make our website accessible and browsable from all the web browsers available. And this is as same as Text Align Center, but it's more better than Text Align Center because it's going to align boxes to center rather than only text align center. So text align is meant to align the text to center. As the property name itself suggests, that it's text which is going to get aligned to center, all right, and now you are telling your browser to take your div as a text. So that's not a good thing to do. So this is the modern style, and I know still from 2018 this is now made available to all the browsers. Now WebKit Boxpack Center, you'll try using this, you can see, right, because you're telling body to box pack, align everything to center, but you don't, it's not going to happen before you say I want to also display, right, I want my, like, just like display is inline block, display is hidden. So I say display is not going to be inline block, display is going to be dash WebKit dash box. So it is going to be a box layout, right? All right, so it's as simple. The moment you say display is going to be the box layout and the box pack has to be aligned to center, it's as good as text align center. Right, now you can see right here. All right, so it is not telling the text to get aligned to center, it's telling basically the content or the boxes, which are sections, articles, to get aligned to center, right? Okay, now we have this width 100% and I have background being set, and we have display dash WebKit dash box, and we are using the WebKit box pack, and which is going to be center. So let me use new edge to see any difference, right? Now let me see, do you feel any difference using the new edge? Yeah, right. So this is from the edge and this is from the, and you can try different browsers, like you can try Safari or you can try other browsers as well, right? So that's also going to be done. So now first of all, let me do this and check any change. Let me try and clear the history, right? Okay, so that it loads everything in a nice way. Okay, fine. Now so now my body has these properties and I am having display block. Now if I don't have this display block, I'll show you this, right? Okay, now let us go and style all first. Okay, now the body section is complete, right? So display is going to be the WebKit box, right? So what this does is makes this flexible model available to even WebKit browsers like Safari, Opera, Mozilla Firefox. Google Chrome is the biggest browser, it's the WebKit browser. 90% of the websites are accessed from Google Chrome, so we're making it available. So now body section is done, and header section is done, and every single thing is done. Now let us go and see that we created this new div known as flex div, right, which has all the section in it, right? So now what we are going to do, hey flexible div, would you mind if you do something like this, right? So I am going to give you maximum width. I want you to take minimum width automatically. So your maximum width, do not give width in percentage. I repeat, it may look like flexible, but it's actually not. So that's not a right way of developing flexible application. So maximum width is going to be 1200 pixels, right? So it is the maximum width. I repeat, minimum is going to be taken automatically. So maximum means it's not going to go beyond 1200 pixels of width, right? Okay, and now margin. So let me give it margin of from top I'm giving 20 px, and the remaining margin, which is right, left and bottom. Right, left and bottom is going to be taken automatically so that the site is aligned to center, and from top I'm giving 20 pixels of margin, as you can see right here. Right, now the website is in the center, right, and the only thing is that we did not, let me go to wrapper and say background color is going to be white. All right, so is that understood? Now you can see the background color is white, and I'll say padding is going to be 10 pixels and border 1 pixel solid #CC. All right, Now you can see, okay, now even you can see okay, it's not taking the margin top. I don't know. Is it taking margin top? Did I give? Margin top is given to flexible div, not to the wrapper. No, I have to give it to wrapper. Why am I giving it to? Why am I giving it to flexible div? Right, so no, sorry, it is going to be to wrapper. All right, because it's the wrapper which wraps up everything, right? You can see it's the wrapper that is going to take every single thing till here. Now I'll show you this. If I just wrap it up, now it is the wrapper div that's taking everything, right? Let me keep, okay, let us keep it like this. Now you can see wrapper div has every single thing, right, except from the body. So wrapper div is in the body, and wrapper is the parent of all, has only one parent, which is the body section, right? So that's understood, quite understood. So now from top I'm giving you 20 pixels, and the remaining is going to be automatically taken. Now you can see right here, if I save this and I run it, now you can clearly see that nothing is happening. Just a moment. No padding. I'll say border 1 pixel solid. Okay, maximum width is going to be 1200 pixels, and margin is going to be 20 pixels, and the remaining section is going to be auto, right? Or you can say 0 maybe. Let me see this first, because it already has text align center. Yeah. So the second thing that I'm going to tell you, also display, the wrapper is also going to take display as, right? So the wrapper will also take display as webkit dash box. So display it as box, right? So it's also going to take, okay, fine, everything is fine. So now you're telling display webkit dash box, right? And what you say, okay, to the wrapper, so I'll say dash webkit dash orient box dash orient. So the box type orientation is going to be vertical, right? So now what is vertical? If I go to MS Paint, for example, if I show you, we have this div here, and we have this div here, and we have this div here, right? So now they are not coming vertical. They're, right? You can see this here. Are they vertical? No, they're horizontal. So now what I say, I want this to be vertical. So now it is going to be like this. So I want them not to come in line. If they go out of the space, I want them to be just like this. So that is where we are targeting this section, right? Okay, so now let me refresh it. Now you can see that it is going to be, and without this vertical, what happens? Now you can see that everything comes here and there, right? So now when I say that it's going to be vertical, the first thing will come first, and then it's going to be, so that's why the orientation of the boxes are, it's very simple, right? What you are telling here, hey body, that align everything to center. Why are we using WebKit? Why didn't we use text align center? Because of cross-browser compatibility issues, and because of WebKit browser not actually understanding text align center. Some browsers understand text align center is only aligning text to center. So this is, you're not aligning text to center, you're aligning boxes. Boxes are like asides, sides, or we have sections, divs, right? And another thing, that this is cross-browser compatible. For cross-browser compatibility, we are using WebKit box to display our item, right? And we are using orientation as vertical, so that they come one after another, not aside to each other, or yeah, right? So now it's done again. Fine. So the second thing that I am going to say, dash webkit dash flex. Now you can see this right here. Flex is false by default. I don't want a flexible model, right? So I'll say 0, so it doesn't matter. So now when I say 1, it becomes flexible. Now what do you mean by flexible? Right, so you'll see that text is getting aligned automatically. Now this collapse and social welfare program to ensure. Now you can see this, and this and will come right after this automatically. Now you can see this, Is it coming? Is it coming? Yeah, you can see this text is getting aligned automatically, and text has not gone outside the boundaries right here, right? So this is what I was trying to make you understand, right? The real meaning of the flexible mod. So the moment I gave wrapper the property of flex, so it will adjust it automatically, right? All right, so now we know that we have this flexible div. Okay, let's not do anything with the flexible div. Right now. All right, let me go and keep it for later use. And we have now header. So what is the name of the header? Let me expand it again. Let me expand it again. Let me expand everything. Okay, now we have this main header. So I'll go and style hash main header, and after that I am going to have the top menu. So let me go and style it back, hash top menu. So there are going to be few changes in the properties, so that's why I'm redoing it. Right, and then we have new div. So now let me go to main header and do what has to be done. So I'll go to the main header and I'll say background is going to be white, right, and a hash fff, and color is going to be, or let me say padding, it's going to take padding of 10 pixels, then we'll assign logo and every single thing, right, and I'll say border dash bottom 1 pixel solid hash triple C, which is gray, right. So let me see, yeah, now it's coming. Alright, so padding is going to be 20 pixels to be more precise. Yeah, padding is now 20 pixels, right, given. Alright, now wrapper. Okay. Fine, then let's go to top menu. So we are done here. Let's go to top menu, which is going to have border, or let me not give border first, right? Top menu is going to have, let me say background. Top menu will have some bluish today, so let's go with some bluish today. So we even went for bluish yesterday, I suppose, right? So this is my top menu. So right, you can see top menu is here. All right, so it is having blue border, so you can say border dash bottom 1 pixels solid hash towards the darker side if you want, right, a bit darker than what it is. Yeah, I can see slightly darker. It's absolutely fine. So I'll go with the same border to top. So let us go and make this flexible. Okay, fine. So now we know that top menu is not only top menu has li. We don't have to call ul, we'll directly call top menu has ul, and inside ul we are having li. I will say list style none. You can see no. So the moment I say list style none, the list style goes, right, and I will say display inline block. So we are going to display them inline, but just like blocks. Now the inline block has come. Now we'll say padding is going to be 15 pixels, right. Okay, fine. So now this has come, and my favorite letter spacing 1 pixels text dash transform uppercase, and color is going to be white, right. Fine. So now this is also done. So the menu is ready. Okay, and let us go now to the flexible div that we made. And now this flexible div is going to take everything, right. It's going to take these sections right here, this much, right. News is the side, so we are going to align it here, and we are going to keep everything else here. So the main rule of the flexible model is that you keep one fixed, right, to display ads and every single thing, and another div you keep flexible. For example, we are having let's say we are having two divs, all right. So I was making file for you, so let me make it some other time. So now what I am doing here, so for example, I have the V here, and I have another. So will you go and make both flexible? No, one has to be fixed. So one I will keep fixed. This is the rule of flexible model. And another is going to be flexible. Alright. So that's what we will do right here. We'll keep this aside as fixed, and the remaining things are going to be flexible using this flexible box model. Right. And let us go and say, I'll say display as dash webkit. Right. So I'll say display dash webkit dash box. Alright, so I'll say it is going to be webkit box. So it's going to be display block. It's one and the same thing. The moment you said, you can see news has gone from this side, right? Because now you are displaying, you're taking full available area, and now the news has gone out of the area, right? So we'll see how to do with that, because the orientation here of the entire section is vertical orientation. Now you can see right here that wrapper has vertical orientation, right? So that is with the wrapper, but now wrapper already has it, but this section I'll not use vertical orientation, I'll use horizontal orientation. Now I can say WebKit box orientation is going to be horizontal. Let's say HORI, right? Horizontal. So the moment I say horizontal, right, so it is going to take the WebKit dash box dash orient is going to be horizontal. Now let me go to the main section. So now what is the div name? It's section content, right? So I'll go to the section content. Let me refresh it. Yeah, so let's go to the section content and say that, hey section, you are a flexible model. As I said, you know, section is this, so this is section, and this is the sidebar, which is aside, right? Or we can say as. So this is aside and this is section. So I want this to be fixed and this to be flexible, right? So I'll go to section content. I'll say, hey section, right, you mind if you have border 1 pixels, right, solid hash CCC. You'll say okay, no problem, I don't mind it, right? And I'll say now you need to be WebKit dash flex, right? I want your flexible property to be true, that is 1, right? So now you can see that this is now flexible. Now you can see it's already come to, it's going to take the remaining available area, right? So this is flexible and this is not flexible. Now I'll show you how it goes, right? So let me style it up first. Right, the flexible property is true. I want you to take margins also, right? So I want you to take margin of 30 pixels, and internally I want you to give padding of 10 pixels as well. So that's very important for you. Now you can see this is the flexible box model getting ready. So maybe margin 20 pixels would suffice. Top, yeah, margin 20 pixels is quite okay. And now what I do right here, I will say background is going to be something pretty lighter, as I went yesterday. Alright, so the background is going to be pretty lighter, and background and border is going to be let's say about darker of what that lighter is, right? A bit brighter or the darker than background color. So it's, yeah, I can see it looks very nice. Right, and that's fine. Border is going to be this. Yeah, it doesn't, it's absolutely good. So yeah, absolutely good, absolutely good. So let me call this side news first, and let me then, yeah, it's side news. So let me call side news and hash side news. Right, and I will say you go one thing, you float towards left. That's the first thing I do. No, why should I be? It's a flexible model. We are using flexible model. We cannot say float lefts in flexible model, right? So what I do, I'll say padding I am going to give you a padding of 30 pixels, right? So let me see. Yeah, now after giving padding of 30 pixels, because since it's a flexible model, so fine, so no problem. So I'll say background is going to be it is going to be slightly darker. Okay, all right. So and border is going to be 1 pixels solid hash ccc. Okay, so now you can see this is my sidebar, right? And I can say, hey sidebar, do you mind taking margin 20 pixels from the top and 0 pixels from any other side? Okay. margin which has to be pixels. Why do I miss out on these things? Yeah, absolutely right. And if I say 0 pixels, 0 pixels, 0 pixels, so if I say let's say about for 10 pixels, yeah, it has come 10 pixels, or let me say 5 pixels. Okay, now let me say margin right is going to be 10 pixels. Now it has come just like here, because I don't want it to fit just near borders, so why would you, right? So now this is my sidebar, and as I said, one has to be fixed and another has to be flexible. This is my flexible model here. So the second thing that I'm going to do right here is give it a fixed width. So I'm going to give it a fixed width of 300 pixels. Otherwise both the things would not look better, right? If both are flexible, so they are not going to look better. So one is flexible, one is fixed. So this is fixed now. Now let me go ahead and say the footer, right? So I'll say hash wrapper has footer, FOOTER. So my wrapper div also has FOOTER, the footer div. So footer, you mind, because the footer has only text, so now we don't mind calling text align center. So this is going to do our job. So text align center is going to happen. Okay, now hash wrapper footer is going to basically do text align center to everything, right? Is doing it to article as well. So what will I do in case? So I'll call this main footer. I'll say main footer text align center. So that is done, text align center. And the second thing that I'll be doing here to the footer is giving padding of 10 pixels, maybe 20 pixels. Alright, so let me carry on. Okay, now padding is also done and absolutely right. So let me give border dash top as 1 pixel solid hash triple C. Why top? Because it already has margin from the bottom and right and left. So now I give border top, so it looks much like the footer. So I'll say margin dash tops, please give 20 pixels of margin from the top so that you don't overlap with this section. Now let me show you, too much. Right, so let me show you the flexible model now. Now you can see text is getting aligned automatically, right? You can see that this is supposed to be your flexible model right here, right? It doesn't matter how much you go, right? It's not yet completely responsive because it's a box. What are we learning? We're learning box layout, flexible box layout, right? For example, in that case, if I go for an image, right? Let's say I go to my article, and here is the article, and after the header, in the paragraph section, if I go with image source, so if I say IMGSRC, and I'll go to my desktop, maybe, yeah, HTML website is the folder name. I go to IMGS, right? And for example, if I use any banner, so if I use this banner, right? So what is going to be the property of this banner if I use it? Now you can see it's going out, right? It's going outside. So I will say now inside article we have a banner, so I can target the article first directly, right? So you can say section content has article, right? Okay, so this section content has article, and this article is going to have margin of 20 pixels. So now first let me give the margin of 20 pixels, yeah. And I'll say it's going to have border of 1 pixel solid, right, a hash, and it's going to be a bit darker than what background is. That thing is also done. Now you can see this is one and this another, and it's going to have padding of 20 pixels. No, 20 pixels is going to be too much. 10 pixels, and yeah, now there are two articles. I want this to fit in one article, right? You can see the flexible model, the height is adjusted automatically right here from this side also. Okay, fine. So now what I want is article. If my article has image, so the width of the image is going to be 100%, right? Or you can use the maximum width of that is going to be because it is flexible, all right. And I will say img, right? So if it has image, so image is going to be 100%. Now you can see how cool the image has come in the article. Now what do you want? If you want the box layout to do this for you, now you can see the magic of flexible model, right? You can see that it's getting, even the image is getting adjusted automatically, and you can see the first article and this is the second article, and it is touch friendly. If you touch, you can even do it from touch, right? So this is, let me take a look at the time. So time has already been over 40 minutes, right? So this is your flexible model, right? And we are going to learn much better things, right? So this is also not something that we need to apply. What do we want, right? For example, if we have two sections, if it is more flexible, right, let us see the width, maximum width it can go till. For example, if it has tendency to go or the capacity to go this, and then after the things may look a bit saturated because we have to look for the readability, right? Because we have to see whether your website is readable. So this is going to go from vertical to horizontal, right? Or this is going to come underneath this div right here. So this is going to take the complete area, right? So that's what we should do. But yeah, still this is not also bad. This flexible model is also a very good example of how to develop flexible websites. You can start developing right now, maybe after 1 month. You can take contracts and you can start developing websites and charging people money for their websites, inshallah, right? So I wish you all the best. Do complete the assignments. The assignment would be completing this. So do complete it and let me know if I can help you. Until then, bye-bye. Take care.